No magic, the simplest of the simplest physics. Recently, there's a lot of talk over the photo where Muhammad Ali having problem lifting a small guy by the name of, I think, John Coulon. And a lot of people thought that the some magic happening there. Like for example, John's pressing onto some Dmac point or some return of chi or anything like that. But it only shows that people don't understand the simplest physics that you need to understand to make your martial arts better. I'll give you this example, okay? Um, this is an only an 8 kilogram ball, okay? Nowhere as heavy as John Coulon. So with the 8 kilogram ball, if I'm am to lift the ball, the combined center of gravity between the ball and myself must be within my power base, which would be my feet. So to lift the ball, right? Of course, the 8 kilogram will end up shifting my center, the combined center of gravity, slightly out, right? But as long as it's between my feet, I can lift it up quite easily. Okay, easy. But the problem is that if the if the ball or the person is further out and the combined center of gravity is no longer within my feet but outside my feet, I can even do it here, I think, right? And if I'm to lift it vertically up, it would be impossible. Okay, okay, yep, this I can still just manage to do it. Difficult. Move it out another inch. That's about here, right? And if I want to lift it up upwards, it's impossible. And it feels like the weight is okay. I just manage. It feels like the weight is really, really heavy. It's an illusion created by the body because I want to remain balanced, and my body would shift the muscle tension and so on so that I would not be able to lift this and fall over. So from here, really heavy. Um, so in order to lift it, I would need to drag it towards me. Now I drag it up and I can lift it up easy again. So this is the physics behind that demonstration. Nothing to do with circulation of chi or pressure point or whatever. Not that they don't exist, right? But for something as simple as that, don't look for anything complex. Just look for something simple. Now, as I said before, imagine this is only 8 kilogram, and if the person weighs, let's say, 50 kilograms, which is still quite light, just by moving slightly out and tricking me into not dragging him in, it would be impossible to lift. And if you watch, go do a search on YouTube on unliftable woman, you would find, if you look very carefully, you would find the trick is to whether be placing the arm or the visual contact to stop the lifter from getting close, and then the woman becomes unliftable. No magic, the simplest of the simplest physics. Now, how does that principle apply to your Tansao, for example? It can be anything, but I'm just using Tansao as an example. Okay, so when you do the Tansao, don't push into the opponent. Because when you push, that's exactly what Ethan is doing right now. When you push too slowly, you see, Ethan is actually luring me in, and then Ethan is can come through and do all sorts of things to me. And because when I push, okay, my hand get extended, and considering Ethan is way more than 8 kilograms, once I'm at about that far out, I I do not have enough power to move Ethan, okay, because it's taken me out of my power base. Okay, so once even drag me out, then he can come in and continue to take me out of balance to strike me. Okay, so the tan sao, you have to sink here and project your mind forward. Okay, not project the force forward, but your limb leg, the intention. So it's not so much the forward force, but the forward intention. So once I do this, you see how I'm actually taking even out of his power base into me, while my mind is towards him. Now, from here, if Ethan even wants to do anything, he would find it very difficult because I'm using the console to control him. So he feels like that he is facing an impossible load while I'm just standing here easily. Just come back a little bit. Okay. So Ethan would feel very, very heavy, try to counter me, right? And then I would just need to do that. Okay, now this is where the forward intention comes in. If my force is down, okay, and then hang on. If my force is down, just run, and then I get hit. So I must apply in such a way that Ethan wouldn't dare to disconnect, because like he knows that as soon as this disconnect, I can I can strike him. So you need to get the opponent in such a way that does not disconnect. Now, of course, Ethan can still drag me out, right, and get me into trouble. 來來去送 typical, okay? So if you have watched my nailing videos, I have to nail Ethan in such a way using the nailing points so that he cannot drag me out, he cannot go forward, right? And he cannot drag me out. So only I can control him and he can't control me. So therefore from here, I can strike, I can do all sorts of things. Of course, and if you do end up in a throw, do not try to throw to someone here. Because remember the Muhammad Ali and the John Coulon principle, right? If I try to lift Ethan here, that's okay. I'm just going to do a throw. Okay, okay. Don't let me. Don't let me. Okay. I can't lift Ethan. Doesn't matter how strong I am, because our combined center of gravity is outside my base. So that's why the typical, for example, judo throw, I don't do judo, but like, yeah, I won't do it as well as the judo guys, but the principle is there. So if I want to throw Ethan, instead of, instead of lifting here, which I can't, I have to get in. Now you see, by making this step, our combined center of gravity is within my feet again. Okay, so once I'm here, it's quite easy for me to go lift Ethan up, and of course, like a boom, right? I will throw Ethan over. So, and that is why in Wing Chun we talk about the short bridge. In Tai Chi, we talk about the centralizing the force, is so that when my force is here, when my center of gravity here, I'm taking Ethan out, right, to fight him instead of pushing against him where he can push me around and strike me. Yeah. So same thing. Now I bring Ethan in. You can see that I can toss him around without any problems.